Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Ask the Gov. Let's begin. Our first question comes from Ashley in Boone via Facebook. Ashley asks, what is one of the most important tests of the upcoming session? The biggest item of unfinished business is limiting property taxes for all classes of property and reducing Iowa's very high commercial property tax. We got that bill through the House last year and not quite through the Senate, but we're going to be continuing to work with local elected officials and making some revisions and improvements on this, but controlling property taxes and especially reducing Iowa's commercial property tax can help us grow more business and jobs in our state. And that's my number one priority, is bringing more jobs to Iowa and giving Iowans more opportunities to raise their family income. Our second question comes from Bob in Urbandale via Facebook, and Bob asks, what do you plan to do about people who are unemployed? What are you going to do about trying to bring more manufacturing jobs to Iowa? I just had the opportunity yesterday to participate in a forum of presidential candidates sponsored by the National Association of Manufacturers. And we are working very closely with Mary Andrenga, who's the first woman chair of the National Association of Manufacturers, in working to bring more manufacturing jobs to Iowa by reducing the regulatory and tax burdens. Our proposal to reduce the corporate income tax and also the property tax for industry as well as commercial property will help. I've already signed an executive order requiring all new state regulations to have a jobs impact statement. We passed a brand new partnership for economic progress, bringing some of the best minds from the business sector in to help us put together a strategic plan to bring more business and jobs to Iowa. And just recently, we've had many good announcements on manufacturing. Alcoa is going to add about 200 jobs in Davenport. We're very excited about that. Those are really good manufacturing jobs. We also have a decision that was made by Whirlpool. Even they're closing a plant in Arkansas, but they're going to bring 160 jobs to Amana in their refrigeration plant. We also have John Deere in Bridgestone adding jobs in our state. We have been successful in bringing a number of bioscience jobs to Iowa, including CJ from South Korea that's going to locate in Fort Dodge along with Cargill. It's going to be a big bioscience complex similar to what we already have in Eddyville, Iowa. So we're continuing to work on this. Debbie Durham, our director of the Economic Development Authority, the Lieutenant Governor and I are spending a lot of time calling on business decision makers and telling them about the advantages of locating in Iowa, and we're very hopeful that we're going to see growth in manufacturing as we work to bring more business and jobs to our state. One of the impediments is the federal government's high corporate income tax and some of the regulatory burdens from the EPA and other federal agencies, and that has to change at the national level to help us really regain the manufacturing base we need in the United States. Our third question comes from Pam in Des Moines via Facebook. Pam asks, do you plan bringing the movie industry back? We certainly do not intend to bring back that film tax credit. That was a bad idea, and it was very poorly administered. I do believe we should restore the film office, and Wendell Jarvis, who ran that office for me before when I was governor, knows the film industry and I think could do a great job. We're looking at the possibility of reinstating the film office as part of the Department of Cultural Affairs to let people know that Iowa is a great place for filming, but we're not going to provide these kind of lucrative tax breaks to out-of-staters who don't owe any state taxes. That was a terrible mistake and certainly something we don't want to see repeated.